Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Fit Fighter Podcast, the podcast gym of inspirational fitness talk. I am your host, fitness goer, TJ Williams, giving you the insight of my fitness journey, discussing and analyzing fitness-based subjects, and highlighting individuals involved in fitness, past, present, and future. All right, so today I got a guest that's local as well as me. Of course, he was originally from Grand Island, but of course he has a business called Chris Fit, which is in the town of Niagara, which is not too far from me. All right, so he agreed to come on the show and talk today. So may I introduce everybody to Chris Tybor, and he's a personal trainer, of course, a firefighter, and of course I know he's got a lot of stories to tell. I'll let him take it away. So how you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Yep, wonderful.
Yep. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the end of the month to see what the numbers are, because so far I'm up to 10,000. Let's see if I get like at least 15,000 or 20,000.
I've no on the right path, man.
Yeah. All right. So of course, the first question that I ask is, before all this happened, describe yourself before fitness.
Ooh, that's tough, man. I remember being 12 years old and my dad coming home with some used gym equipment from a garage sale, and just like probably the rest of the guys listening to this, did nothing but bench press and arm curls in the bedroom. It had a leg extension attachment to the bench. I used that 2 or 3 times, and I think I was benching 3 or 4 times a week, and just doing bench press and push-ups and whatnot, and probably everything wrong. But when you're young, you're able to get away with that stuff, whereas now maybe you and I and the rest of the people in our age bracket will be feeling it for some days or months on end. So life before fitness, I don't really can recall that, because I was always active. I was always playing soccer, playing football, going door to door in the neighborhood, trying to cut lawns or rake leaves, shovel snow with my buddies, just trying to make some, extra money, and just always playing pickup basketball or any sports with the neighborhood kids. So it was always a part of who I was. And my junior year in high school, I had an internship at the University of Buffalo, UB, and I was fortunate enough to get paired up with their strength and conditioning coach. And I was able to work with the men's basketball team, men's wrestling, women's volleyball, and a couple of the women's basketball team players. And I really kind of took a liking to that and being in the weight room. So I ended up making that my career path. I ended up going to college for exercise science. And during that time I was working at a gym, and it just kind of steamrolled from there, going from a gym to a programmer, just helping people out get familiarized with equipment, to a personal trainer. And in the summer of 2000, I joined a local volunteer fire company in Cheektowaga, Ucrest Fire Department. And I spent from 2000 to 2005 there, and ended up kind of moving. I thought I was going to make a career out of firefighting. I ended up running 2 gyms, one in Lewiston, one in the Niagara Falls area. And my number came up for the Niagara Falls Fire Department. I ended up passing on that, ran my 2 gyms. Then I combined both of them into one in town of Niagara right now. And very recently, in the last probably 4 or 5 months, I went back to the volunteer service and ended up with the Grand Island Fire Department, which is right down the road from my house. And here we are, man. So I know that was a really long answer to a simple question, but that's how we got here.
Yeah, so of course I'm gonna cut this down. Of course, you talked about your father bringing home gym equipment, so that had to be at least your push, because that one touch of equipment kind of got you getting going into fitness. So
absolutely, that and the Hulk Hogan dumbbell sets with the
poster,
blue dumbbells. I think the poster that everybody had in their room, and one. That, I mean, who knows how many countless people that got started in the fitness industry.
Yeah. Oh, do you actually met Hogan when he was down here in 2018?
I unfortunately did not. No.
Oh, yeah, I got him. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I really looked up to Hulk Hogan. I mean, I think about it, it's like almost 30 years ago, I was dressed up as Hulk Hogan as Halloween. Yeah, that was uh, all right. So we're going into your push. You know, you of course, you talk about your dad bringing over equipment, and then you just it follows up. You decide to get an education and go to UB, and you did all these wonders with the college sports, which is amazing. And of course, it was just almost like a leap. You start with weights, and then you go to school, and then from there, it's like I did everything else, and now it's time to take on the world, pretty much.
Right. Yeah, I think something that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed being active, and I think I'm a helper by nature, and I enjoy seeing people succeed. And it was nice seeing people come into the gym and help improve their confidence or their outlook on life. We've been very fortunate. We have a great team. We have great members. We've had 8 people lose 100 pounds or more out of our facility. So those are some truly life-changing events that I've been very fortunate to be a part of. We just helped. I have a client that is in the Niagara Falls Fire Academy right now, and so he trained really hard. 6 days a week. I was with him at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting him ready. And just the other day, he said he gets to bring 2 people with him to his graduation for a ceremony, and he's asking his wife to pin the whatever the graduation pin is on him, and then he's having me hold the Bible for his swearing in, which is pretty cool honor, because of all the people in his life that he could ask. I feel very privileged and honored to be a part of that, and I'm sure it's going to be emotional. So I think I'm very lucky that I get to see people succeed in what they do, and I'm just blessed.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess. Is this person you're talking about is Paul Emick?
No, but I am good friends with Paul.
Yeah.
But it's one of the guys that's in the academy with him. His name is Dwayne, and he lost over 50 pounds to get in shape and get ready for it, and I couldn't be more proud of him. But Paul's a guy too, and is going to do a good job.
Yeah, because I had him on a show a couple episodes ago. I mean, me and him was like going back and forth. I mean, I trained with him in martial arts, and of course, I see he got into the fire department, and that's a real good, amazing accomplishment.
He's a good guy. They're very lucky to have him, and he's gonna leave a mark and leave his impact there. So I'm very happy and proud of him. And we've talked and bouncing back some training ideas and whatnot. So he's ready.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all see how fast he runs to go to a fire. I don't think he needs the truck.
He might push the truck. They might have him push the truck. I don't know.
All right. Can you think of any big challenges or difficult challenge that you went through going as you got into being a personal trainer?
Yeah, I think the fitness industry, just like any industry, there's people that are in it for the right reasons, and then there's people that are in it solely for monetary. And when I was a part of a big corporate chain gym, a lot of times the busiest trainers weren't maybe the most knowledgeable or didn't have the best motivation for doing what they did. I think they might have been the best salespeople. And when clients come in, they are just under the impression that they might not realize that it's a business. And I was able to learn a lot from the corporate gym, some things that I wanted to carry on that I liked how they did, and then some of the things that maybe didn't sit well with me on a personal level on how things were operated on so maybe some of the sales tactics and whatnot. So I was able to become an independent contractor. I just rented space from a couple facilities, and then came time to open up my own place. So in 2011, we opened up on Hyde Park. And we started off with a 3,000 square foot place. We expanded a couple times up to about 7,000. Excuse me. Then we bought an existing gym in Lewiston, ran 2 gyms for 5 years, and then combined both of them into a 9,000 square foot place that we got now. So I think as the journey progressed, the difficulties, grew as well. My dad used to say, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. And when you go from being an independent contractor where you only have to worry about yourself to now having employees that you have to worry about, where I want to make sure they get a paycheck. I want to make sure they're happy. I want to make sure they feel valued. To now we have, a couple hundred members, 350, 400 members, that everybody thinks that when you work for yourself, you don't have a boss. Well, the reality of it is now I have 300 bosses, because every client, every member is essentially my boss, and they basically vote whether or not, they like the job that we're doing by whether or not they keep their membership and they keep coming back as a client. And I don't think people that haven't ran a business or been close to somebody that has ran a business or is currently running a business, I don't think they really understand the day-to-day stuff that goes behind the scenes. They think, it's all great until, the toilet clogs and who's, mopping up the bathrooms, or, different issues happen, or COVID happens, and the fitness industry took an absolute beating, and we were closed for almost 7 months. And that's very nerve-wracking. You have employees that you want to take care of. You have a facility that you want to keep open. So I think it just, you never know what you're going to get with it. So no day is the same. We're fortunate enough that we see a lot of the same customers, and I can kind of predict what's going to happen there. But there's a lot of things that you just don't know what's going to happen. Kind of like with firefighting, you may have a beautiful plan. It's just like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, of course, you say the most difficult challenge is like getting clients to, of course, like your product. I mean, and you don't want to do the same thing over and over. I mean, you kind of have to change it up, with me being a fitness instructor, I don't want to do the same type of classes, I was doing, or do the same type of workouts. I'm just like with this podcast, I'm getting ideas of like, what can I do to make this class a lot better? It's like, can I just do a different variations of squats, or do a different variations of bicep curls? I mean, I really try to use a lot of research, just really make the class interesting, keep those same people coming to my class. So that was yeah.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I mean, people want variety, and most importantly, they want to feel appreciated. They want to feel like they're getting their money's worth, and that I always try to tell our staff, people don't care how much you know until they know that you care. So you could be the smartest person in the world, but if the client doesn't believe that you're there for them, they're not going to stick around.
Yeah, I always ask my participants says, if you have any questions, I mean, feel free to ask me. I mean, I may not have all the answers, but I'm willing to help you like build yourself. Like, of course, I tell them, but like before class, if you have any injuries or limitations, please consider the low impact, low intensity options, so you can continue doing that workout. And also, I'm really like picky about how they do their techniques. I'm not. Well, usually if I'm doing like a martial arts based workout, I'm also a martial arts instructor, so I'm really picky about how they do their techniques. I'm like, if I see them do a punch wrong, it's like, you don't want to punch the wrong way. Think if you're punching, really punching somebody, you don't want to punch them the wrong way. So yeah. I'm gonna work out doing this. All right, so let's go into goals. All right, so of course your goal is you create a business. So what would you say your ultimate goal would be?
It's a good question. We had a couple people hit the 100-pound mark. So we've had 8 people, like as I mentioned before, hit the 100-pound mark, weight loss. Initially, I wanted kind of at the start of my career to have 10 people hit the 100-pound mark. So I have one guy that's hovering around 70, 75, and another girl that's hovering around the same weight. So weight loss, so we should hit that, relatively soon. So, I maybe another 15 total 100-pound weight loss. We're very fortunate. I have 3 other trainers that work for us right now. They're all getting pretty busy. So I would like to add another trainer to our staff and just kind of refine and improve our approach. We try to take some seminars, read, we have trainer meetings where we try to, pick each other's brains and push each other, a little friendly competition between the trainers. But I think it's just always just improving and not getting complacent. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And I think that's very applicable to people's health and wellness. And I think into firefighting as well. There's unfortunately a lot of line of duty deaths, and some of them are because of, maybe building construction or, some definite unfortunate incidents and accidents, but there's a lot of them that are unfortunately due to maybe the fire department as a whole not taking as good a care of themselves as they should. And, there are a few companies, police and fire and whatnot, that are adopting, retesting your physical agility tests, every 3 to 5 years. And I really wish more companies and departments would do that, because if that was a standard to get on the job, in my opinion, I may not make some friends saying this, but in my opinion, that should also be the standard to stay in the job. I don't think once you get the job is the time to get comfortable. I think that is the time, if anything, to step up your fitness, from a stress relief standpoint, from instilling the confidence of the public in you, and from not letting your teammates down, or even your family. There may be 1 or 2 instances in your career where you're going to be called on, and it's going to be go time, and you're not going to want to say, oh, I wish I trained a little bit harder, or I wish I maybe didn't skip those intervals, or I wish I didn't gain those 15 or 20 pounds, because that literally in jobs like that literally can be the difference between life and death.
Yeah, no. And of course, the main thing that we always worried about is like, we say we don't have time for things, but of course, there's got to be like within the 24 hours that we wake up, we sleep, there's got to be at least some time to put in that effort to actually stay in shape. So with me, of course, I try to wake up at least early enough before work to get a workout. But, sometimes I don't have an hour. I usually have half an hour, but, I'm ready because I got a structure set.
Right.
And
I think that's I think that's a great point too. Like a lot of times, clients, especially in the beginning, that might be new to our facility or whatnot, might forego coming into the gym because they only have 20 or 30 minutes. And I tell them, I go, if every time you walked out of your house, there was a $5 bill and you stepped over it because it was only $5, that would seem kind of foolish. Like over time, that's going to add up. And the same thing with 20 or 30 minutes here, 30 minutes here. I mean, you wouldn't eat a Snickers bar every day of the month and not expect to gain weight. Well, that's the equivalent of what you could be doing in cardio for those 30 minutes or whatnot. And, I think the more realistic we can be with people and not have to always believe that you have to do an hour and a half of working out or whatever. And if all you can do is 30 minutes, I would rather have that person do 30 minutes than 0.
Yep. I mean, I guess people really worry about when it comes to cardio, or at least like getting a sweat. It's like you have to run on a treadmill, but that, that's not the case. And
right.
of course, for me, if I don't really run on a treadmill as much, I have, of course, I'm certified in body combat, so I do that. And of course, I also train in martial arts. I do Okada. I mean, that gets me sweating. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. So within your journey, who do you say you look up to?
Ooh. So when I joined the UCrest Fire Department, I had an amazing fire chief there. His name was Mike Hora. And when I was young, I was 20 and probably had a lot more ego than brains at the time. And I think he was just, he led by example. There was no nonsense. You knew where you stood. And if you needed, a kick in the pants, and you needed to be reminded of what needed to be done or how to conduct yourself, he handled it. And that was the end of it. There was never it didn't linger. It didn't, it never carried on to any future. It was done. It was like, we dealt with it. We're moving on. And I think looking back, because that was about 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, I think that's a very good trait to have, and it's something that I try to copy with, the relationships in my life and with, employees, having employees. So I think there was a lot of life lessons that I learned in those 5 years at UCrest. And I think now just being in the Grand Island, there's a couple guys there that I really look up to that have a lot of experience. One of them has some military experience, which I think carries well over into the fire department, having that structure of officers and lieutenants and captains. And then I have two really good friends that are captains on the Niagara Falls Fire Department. And I just think it's honorable what they do and the effort that they put in. And they're serious about training, and they're serious about looking after their guys and their crew, and that everybody goes home at the end of the day, and that they are up to date on their training and whatnot. So I think from that aspect, I look up to them for that. And then from a fitness aspect, I think it's motivating when I see my clients that come in and that they're showing up every day, and they put a lot of trust in myself and our staff to kind of point them in the right direction. So it's when I got a mom of four coming in and busting her butt for me at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 days a week. And she's doing everything I'm telling her to do. I can't really wuss out on my workout when I got, her doing this, or, we've had a couple clients that have battled cancer and have came in and still got their workouts in, a day after getting chemo, or, people that have lost their spouse, or might have some personal trauma and tragedies in their life, and just when your average person is doing that, it makes it real hard to come up with an excuse to skip your workout. So I think just the day-to-day consistency of it. And I just remember a couple of years ago, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, and it was pretty tough. And there was a point where I thought I had some frostbite on my hand, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to the summit. And I just remember thinking, like, I can't come home and tell my clients that I didn't make this. So, like, I'll shut the gym down. Like, I'm not telling my clients that I didn't make this climb. And I remember thinking in my head, if I make this climb, I'm not the first person that's ever done this. So that means other people have done it. There's no reason why I can't. So I just always try to keep that in the back of my head. Like, you're not the first one. You're not going to be the last. Why not? Why not me? So.
Yeah, it's always great when, as a personal trainer, you want to try to pick a challenge. I mean, trying to up your game. But
For sure.
Of course, for me, I want to try to do a half marathon. So, I mean, I've run 10 miles so far. So it's always great when you have that music in your ear that really helps you get motivated. For me, it's video game music. So I'm very.
I think that's great. And I think, like, you're going to inspire your clients to maybe start, maybe their first 5K or whatever. So I think that's awesome. And surrounding yourself with like-minded people is fantastic. And we actually have the Ride for Roswell coming up. And we have raised about $8,000 for it so far. We have quite a few members from the gym on our team. And I have a couple of buddies and clients that are riding 100 miles. So we're doing the 100-mile bike ride. And then we have quite a few gym members that are doing anywhere from 15 to like 60 miles. So we got that coming up at the end of June. And then I'm shooting for August. I don't know if you're familiar with the Firefighter Challenge that they show on ESPN, where they do the obstacle course and the dummy drag and all that.
Yeah.
I'm prepping for one of those. So I'm trying to find a date that coordinates. I do have a baby on the way.
Oh.
For the end of August. So I want to get a couple things in before the priorities shift a little bit. So, going to probably be a little bit selfish for the next couple months, and then then my free time is going to be not my free time anymore. So be with the focus on the baby. So yeah, that's kind of like where we're at right now.
Awesome. And also congratulations. What you having, a boy or girl?
Boy. So I'm pretty pumped for that. Yeah. So my girlfriend, Maria, we're about 16 weeks pregnant. So she's definitely taking one for the team. She hasn't been feeling the best. So just trying to make life easy for her and stay out of the way a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. Congratulations. I mean, you'll probably make an amazing father and really try to teach your son like what you are doing right now. Just almost give them like almost taking your place when you almost retire. Yeah. So,
right. Yeah. I'm gonna do my best, and unfortunately, both my parents have passed, so they're not going to be able to see the grandson. But I was very lucky that I had some good parents, and my dad was a hell of a guy. So I got some good things to pass on.
Okay. All right. So what subjects do you think people need to know about? Mostly fitness or health?
I think there is a lot of misinformation out there. And I think once, some of the red flags are, somebody promises, some insane, quick, rapid results in 3 days or 3 weeks, that should be a red flag. If they say like you can eat whatever you want or you don't have to work out, that should be a red flag. It's that old saying, like, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And I think it's very, very true, that saying in the fitness and the wellness industry. Nobody wants to hear that, hey, you're gonna have to watch what you eat. You're not going to be able to go to Five Guys every day. You're not going to be able to have your 800 calorie frappuccino every day. And you're going to have to watch what you eat, and you're going to have to bust your butt. And I don't think that really sells when you're having a consultation with somebody versus, hey, do this for 3 days and you can lose 10 pounds. And it's just, water manipulation or low carb for a couple of days. And the moment you introduce carbs back in the diet, you gain it. So I think be aware, and then, do the consumer should be doing their homework and asking questions of, what the trainer's education is or what the coach's education is. And, hey, do you have any clients that we can talk to, or anybody that was in a similar situation as me that you helped? And I think, for us, we're very lucky. We have a lot of awesome members that have done very well. So we don't really have to do a lot of advertising anymore. It's mostly by word of mouth. But for people that, might not be local or, might want to do things on their own, I think it's just starting slow. You probably didn't gain 15 or 20 pounds in a month or two. You probably aren't going to lose 15 or 20 pounds in a month or two. So I think it's just find something that you can reasonably do 3 or 4 times a week, and that you work hard at it, whether that is, doing some weight training, whether that's martial arts or jujitsu, or whether that's, during the summertime, you play tennis and do some hiking or whatever it is. Try to set yourself up for success by finding something that you can envision yourself doing for, 3 to 4 times a week for the rest of your life. Because I think that's the big thing too. It's like people want to start these crash diets because they're going on a cruise or they have a reunion or a wedding coming up. And it's like, well, okay, what do you do after that? Your health and wellness is a wide snapshot of everything that you've done in your life. It's not, kind of like your bank account, just looking at your bank account when your deposit check hits, because you have to pay out, whether it's your rent, your mortgage, a car payment, food, utilities, all that stuff. So yeah, that number might look good when it first gets deposited, but by the end of the day, it might not look so good. And I think the same thing is with health and wellness. Like, it might look good, when you're on that cruise, but if you gain all of that weight back and then some because you starved yourself to get ready for that cruise, you're not really healthy. So I think just the big picture and not looking for the quick fixes. And I think that's where people keep getting fooled is they go from one quick fix to another. And in the time that they wasted and the money that they wasted bouncing from plan A to plan B to plan C, if they just chose the moderate plan in the beginning, they would be further ahead than where they are bouncing from program to program.
Yeah, that could pretty much relate. I mean, people really just are worried about their image and not worry about doing it right. And then next, if they do it the wrong way, it could lead to another health problem. People don't want them health problems. All right, definitely.
Yeah, I always tell people your exercise plan, your activity, that should enhance and improve the quality of your life. The moment that it starts detracting from it, maybe something needs to be reevaluated. Now that doesn't, that applies just to general population. If it's somebody that has, a competition coming up or a show or some specific athletic event where they have to do that, that's one thing. But if it's just the normal average person that just wants to move better, to keep their risk factors down, to maybe look better, to be able to pick up their kids, play with their grandkids, then I think you need to look at the big picture and be reasonable with your approach.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, when I make the trip to the store, mostly my first stop is at the produce. I mean, really, I want to make sure I get my fruits and vegetables. At least, I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I'm authentic. I don't want to get bags of frozen fruit that's like could have stuff that could kill me. So
right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, so before we get to our hidden gem segment, here's the last question. What motivational or inspiring quote best describes your journey?
Ooh, that's a good one. You know what? I don't know if I can attribute one quote. There's a firefighter from New York that FDNY that I've been reading a lot of his stuff and his tactics, and it was called Keep the Promise. And those little window stickers that we used to get as kids to like signify we had a child in the bedroom, so the fire department would know like what windows to go in and what rooms to search and whatnot. And I think Keep the Promise, I think that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. I mean, keep the promise to yourself, to be true to yourself, to follow the path that you need to follow your heart and what sits right with you. Keep the promise to your teammates, whether it's your coworkers, whether it's you're in law enforcement or military or the fire department, and then I think to the community. I know that if I call 911, like I have a certain level of expectation of what I expect to show up and how I would expect to be helped or to have my family be helped or whatnot. And I think we have a lot of responsibility, whether it's a fitness professional to walk the walk or as a first responder, to instill the confidence in the public and in the community that we're trained, whether it's technical, whether it's EMS, and then that we're trained physically and mentally to be able to handle the stressors of the job. So I think Keep the Promise, I think is a good quote for a variety of individuals and a variety of professions, and can mean a lot of different things, but it's applicable.
Yeah. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we reached the hidden gem segment of our interview. So this is going to be 7 questions. Of course, it's the fun part. All right, so I'm going to ask you 7 questions that I want you to answer to the best of your ability. All right, so yeah, but usually when it gets towards the end, that's where it gets fun. But
all right, let's see what you got.
All right, here we go. The first question is, best advice you ever gotten?
Best advice ever gotten. A couple pieces from my dad. First one was, if you ever get arrested, you're going to get a phone call. don't waste it on me. Now, fortunately, I was never arrested, and so I never had to make that phone call. I do think had I had the unfortunate behavior to get arrested, he would have been there for me. He was always there for me. But he was a very generous person, and I think I get my heart from him. And he used to always tell me, there's givers and takers in the world, and the takers, they may eat better, but the givers, they sleep better. And if we have it, we give it. And, we're very fortunate that our facility, we've been able to donate, to different charities and help out and whatnot. So I think that was probably the best thing is, for my dad is just, be generous if you have it. And, there's always someone worse off than you. And if you can, lighten that load a little bit, do what you can.
Hey, all right. Next question. The worst advice you ever gotten?
Worst advice I'd ever gotten. Probably some fitness advice somewhere where I read it in maybe like Flex magazine or something. I feel like, early on, I think early on, I maybe didn't take cardio as serious as I should have or could have. And I thought that maybe cardio would really limit people's strength gains. And of course, when you're younger, that's all that you're really focused on. And I think you don't realize that the heart is also a muscle and should be worked. So I would say that cardio will hinder your progress in the gym. So for those of you listening, make sure you do your cardio.
Oh yeah. I'm already set. So usually treadmill, running outside. I'll try. Yeah. All right. Well, usually this is probably the question that you are probably going to be like the light bulb's not going to come on, but guilty pleasure. How do you reward yourself?
Oh, I think I like some pizza, man. I'm not a drinker. I can crush some pizza.
Yeah.
And if we zone out, my girlfriend's got two kids, so we'll play some Luca the boy. He's 8 years old. We'll have some pretty good Madden games on PlayStation. So we might go out for a couple hours on that. But I would say guilty pleasure, pizza, playing some Madden, and then maybe wasting some time playing guitar here and there. But that's about it.
Hey, all right. What famous celebrity would you want to work out with?
Ooh. I say the two that come to mind is, definitely Arnold. You have to go that route if you've been around at all. And I think now, probably The Rock. Who doesn't love The Rock?
I knew it.
How can you not love the guy, right?
Yeah.
The guy's a beast. He's down to earth. What did Paul say about that? Who did he want to lift with?
It's opposite, John Cena.
Okay, all right. I can see that. I think The Rock's better, but I'll let Paul have his guy.
Yeah. Probably another WrestleMania rematch right there.
Could be.
All right. Secret talent.
Secret talent. Oh man. I don't know. I think work ethic. I don't think I was never the fastest in any sport, never, the tallest or whatever. I think I just had a good ability to endure some discomfort and try to outwork people and out hustle them. So I was always kind of like that guy that you never wanted to play against, but you wanted them on your team, kind of the pest, we'll keep coming at you. So I think work ethic.
Well, that could be a secret talent. Definitely if you're active and you're really motivated, that could be the work ethic. Yeah, you want to always do something. All right. If you were in a movie, what kind of movie would you be in?
It's got to be some type of action movie. Think of, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage in The Rock, or, the other night Con Air was on. I know that's a little bit older. I definitely think some type of action movie where, you know, we get to stomp some bad guys.
Yeah, I was also thinking Top Gun because I was watching that earlier.
Oh, that's a classic that never goes out.
Yeah, I mean, I know the new one's coming out soon. I don't know if it came out already, but the new Top Gun.
Yeah, I did see. And then my one buddy and I, he's a state trooper. We've always liked Bad Boys. So Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. So if I could bring him along for the ride and we could play in a remake of that, I would take that any day.
Yeah. I mean, all right. So here's the final question. 10 years from now.
10 years from now. Still kicking butt in the gym. I'll be 52. I'm 42 now. So my son will be 9 years old. So hopefully he's active, healthy, and just enjoying life. You know, we're an active family. A couple years ago, we did Lake Placid and climbed Whiteface with the kids. And, you know, I think just being a good role model for them. Luca plays hockey, plays baseball, Gemma plays soccer. And they're active. And I think like that's kind of, you know, it's like the butterfly effect that's carrying everything on. You know, they say, you know, sometimes you can't hear what people are saying because their actions are so loud. And, you know, that saying actions speak louder than words. Like, yeah, we can preach all that we want about being fit and being healthy and taking care of ourselves. But if the kids see you, you know, doing opposite of what you're saying. So I think just continuing to be a role model for them and having them lead a healthy lifestyle. And that just has the ripple effect. And you never know, that might start a career for them that they're able to help people or whatnot. And I think just being better at being present and being appreciative of the blessings that I have. I think it's human nature to always want more and, you know, always kind of look for the next best thing or the next landmark or whatever. And I think just taking a little bit of time to reflect and look at the good that, you know, because there's a lot of unfortunate things going on in the world right now. And, you know, thankfully, you know, at least geographically, we're far enough away from a lot of those things right now. And I think it could be worse. And, you know, there's areas around here that, you know, people are really suffering and whatnot. So I think, you know, everybody's one bad day away from being in a position that nobody wants to be in. So I think just staying healthy for my family, for myself, so I can serve the community with the fire department and just be a good role model. And I think I would be very happy with that.
Yeah, so that's the thing that like that what you said, man. I mean, you don't want to be that person that complains about what's going on with the world, but you want to be that person that does something. I mean, you can't be a vigilante and stop every crime, but you can prevent like that person that you see is going down the wrong path, like prevent them from going down that wrong path. So of course with me, with the kids, you know, I see them, they have a tough life, but you know, I don't want them to grow up to get in the wrong crowd or be in the wrong place, you know.
And martial art is a great avenue for being able to kind of, like in martial arts, you want to face the problem. And I think that carries over to life really well too. Like face the problem. Like if you keep turning away, it's going to get bigger. That problem is going to get bigger, whatever it is. And I think there's a lot of good parallels and growth that can occur from dealing with your problems head on and having a good way, especially for guys to be able to constructively channel their anger and aggression in a way that's smart, whether it's working out, whether it's going for a run, whether it's hitting the mats or the pads in karate or boxing or you know, whatever it is, finding a way to channel that, especially the young guys that, you know, their hormones are kicking in, the testosterone's pumping, and you know, going to the bar and trying to fight and everything probably isn't the best thing to be doing. So if you can find a constructive way to handle that, I think everybody wins.
Yeah. Well, as long as that parallel is not you laying on the ground, I tell you that.
Right.
All right. So before we kind of close off, is there any last minute words that you'd like to tell our listeners out there?
Yeah, I think you know, fitness and proper nutrition can enhance your life and just give it an honest effort. And just like with anything in life, you will get what you put out of it. I always tell my clients that fitness is one of the very few things that you can control in your life, and really know if you do A plus B, you're going to get C. You know, if you have a boss, like your boss, you know, may play favorites, or your work may play favorites, or, you know, you can't control what your family, your spouse does. You are only really in control of yourself, and fitness and your wellness is really one of the only things that that you really have an ultimate say on, and doesn't really play favorites. Like if you do the work, you're going to get the results and the progress.
Okay. All right, so that's definitely good words of wisdom for the listeners out there. So, okay, thank you so much, Chris, for joining me today. So, I hope everything goes well with you and your business, and I hope you end up getting more locations. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and you keep doing your thing, man. I'll keep supporting you.
All right, everybody. So for those who are tuning into this podcast, tune into my previous episodes on the bicbpradio.com, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And I'll check you out next time for another episode here at the Fit Fighter Gym. This is your host, TJ Williams, closing the gym.